At some point, a Frankenstein might need to play soccer. That's all I'm saying.
What do you mean we need to make sure one of us has hair? You're just rubbing in the fact that I don't have hair. We need to make sure one of us has hair. That's what you said right before we started recording. I'm ignoring whatever your ad lib was at the beginning with Frankenstein. We need to make sure one of us has hair. Oh, well, let me make sure it's not me.
We're trying to make this thing marketable. Yeah, and you need the juxtaposition. Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, he's wearing a hat. He probably doesn't have any hair.
I should be the one wearing the hat. We've discussed that before on this. I should be the one embarrassed of my bare scalp. But instead, you're the one who seems to have an endless amount of hats. It's very strange how many hats you have. And I decided to mention this because I got this very insulting ad on my phone for hymns. You know, hymns. Have you heard those ads for hymns? You hear them in podcasts. You see them on like YouTube videos. It's like a minoxidil finasteride. You put it on your head. You take it orally. It grows your hair back.
Oh, it doesn't make your head horny.
If you're Jewish, it makes you grow horns. That's why I had to stop taking all that topical minoxidil or whatever, is because I started growing horns instead of hair when I had to get my hair back.
I sprinkle, ground up rhino horn on all my food. I put slices of pickled hippopotamus penis on my sandwiches.
And what do those do for you?
Make me horny, Ben.
See, I don't need something that makes me horny. That hasn't ended yet. I'm still in my 30s. But let me just read to you this insanely insulting ad. I know it's boring to read things off on a podcast, but it's called Guy Who Still Has His Hair in His 30s Starter Pack. I am feeling so called out right now.
Guy who still has his hair in his 30s starter pack? What does that even mean? A
starter pack it's this meme that people do on like Reddit and stuff where they like sort of say, like old white man starter pack. And then they list a bunch of things that typical old white people have, 401k.
So is this just going to be a brush and shampoo?
No, it's actually more insulting than that. It's actually more insulting than that.
Because that's what any person with hair has. Every other things. Anyways, you go.
Yeah, whatever you surmise it might be, it's more insulting than that. Okay, so the first thing, it's a guy looking like this happy. So this is a guy who still has hair in his 30s starter pack. One, has a hairstyle, not just a hat collection, which is weirdly relevant because you're the one with the hat collection.
I'm getting fucked by hymns.
Yeah, exactly. They're calling both of us out. They should be sponsors of this just because they've insulted us so much. That is bullshit. Number two, texts from someone who respects the game. What does that mean? The
Game is a great rapper. I can't say I've been into his stuff all that much. Not my era. I think I was more 50 Cent around that time.
Okay, I'm just going to delete what you said so I can continue on with I'm going to delete that in editing and continue on with what this actually means. Here's the text. A guy named Dave says, "Yo, you've been crushing life. What's your secret?" And the reply is finasteride and minoxidil. That's a text from someone who respects the game. And that's how you reply back.
That's the person that just got your phone number off of the dark web.
Yo, you've been crushing life. What's your secret? Don't respond to texts like that.
No.
Here's another one part of the starter pack of a guy who still has his hair in his 30s. A job he actually likes.
No, that's not true. That's a starter pack? No way. That is the fucking advanced pack or
exactly.
Whatever. That's the upgrade. That's the expansion pack. That's the word.
That's why this is so insulting, because it's trying to make you feel bad is what it's trying to do. It's not actually showing you what a guy who has hair in his 30s life is like. It's just trying to make you feel bad so you'll buy hymns. So it's a guy who has his legs up on the table with a computer in his lap going, yeah, I have a job, for some reason where he's wearing a visor or something. Another one is a savings account with a comma.
Yeah, I have $1,000.
Another one, a bottle of Hims hair regrowth spray on his bathroom counter. I don't have that, obviously.
But if you already have hair, why would you have that in your starter pack? See, now they're just defeating their own purpose.
No, because they're saying, because the way it works is you need to keep reapplying in order to keep your hair. So that's how it works. with
Oh, I
these
was
things.
wondering. I was like, there must be something out there because my head's not been so full lately.
Your hair's not been full. You're losing your hair.
Now that I know that I need Hims regrowth because I'm a guy in his 30s.
Well, you don't because you have your hair. You're a guy who still has his hair in his 30s.
But that's
now.
the starter pack for a guy who has hair. So why would that come in the starter pack if I don't need it as a man who has hair?
It's so many mixed messages and it just looks down on you. And finally, actually enjoying hobbies again. And a guy with a thumbs up like this holding some golf clubs. And he's wearing a hat, weirdly. But I think they forgot about that part in the starter pack, which is that you don't have a hat collection. Well, I guess because he's golfing, it's appropriate to wear a hat when you're golfing. You're out on the grass. There's no shade or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
also
it's
appropriate to wear square pants of weird multicolors. I don't know why golf has its own sort of color aesthetic. I appreciate
square
it.
pants. Did you say square pants?
Yeah, a bunch of squares, like a tiled sort of pants. It's not plaid, right? It's just a bunch of awkward squares that are.
I thought you were talking about SpongeBob square pants.
Yeah, he went golfing.
So yeah, I saw this ad before. And see, the problem with that last part is that it implies you are depressed. Because with depression often comes having no interest in your old hobbies anymore. I don't really have hobbies. So I can't really have any interest in them because I don't really have them. And the reason I don't have hobbies is because I'm depressed. And I know that if I did have hobbies, I wouldn't have any interest in them anymore. So that's why I don't have hobbies. I'm sort of heading it off at the bend. I'm not allowing myself to have interests because I know I'll just lose interest in them. And that'll mean I am unhappy. And I don't even want to have to face that.
Well, what if you try Hims regrowth on your hobbies?
Maybe that's what Hims really is.
What if it's like a Rugrats, like that time Chucky ate a watermelon seed and then they like shrunk down and went inside him? And Angelica wanted to grow the watermelon, but all the babies obviously wanted to get rid of the watermelon.
You know, seeing that at such a young age, it did sort of make me wary of watermelon seeds for, I'm going to estimate, the entire rest of my life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I still sort of sort them out. I'm like, I better not consume that, even though they all just come out in your poop, because that's what seeds are meant to do, really, is come out in poop so that they then get dropped in the ground and fertilized.
Yeah.
Animals eat.
We're like birds.
Yeah. Or really just any animal that eats a fruit.
I'm like a bird. I want to fly away.
Missed opportunity. I'm like a bird. I got to poop some seeds. That's what you should have done. Yeah. Don't just
I'm
sing
off my
the lyrics.
game, Ben. Dave's not going to text me saying he respects me.
He's not going to say you've been crushing life. He's going to say that act out was a missed opportunity. That's what you're going to get a text right now from a telemarketer saying, what was that? You call that podcasting? I'll show you podcast.
You know what I call it? This is Unusable. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Tyler Martin.
I'm Ben Steinberg. Thank you for the introduction. I forgot about that part. I was so pissed off about Hims being directly advertised to me on Reddit.
Dav from the USSR texted, in Soviet Russia, life crushed you.
Yes. You've redeemed yourself from the I'm like a bird thing because that was brilliant. In Soviet Russia, life crushes the individual under the iron fist of waiting in lines repeatedly and having no variety, which is the spice of life.
And here in the USSA, that is also happening.
How is that happening here?
Not to get too into it, but, stripping away health care, voting rights, no minimum wage laws passed. You're still going to jail for marijuana. Crooks are having their sentences commuted or getting pardons, and all the good innocent people are being thrown into jail for bullshit charges. I mean, just the list will go on for another 3.5 years.
It's going to go on longer than that. Let's be honest. Whatever backsliding we've done lately will not just be instantly reversed the moment Trump leaves office. I hate that this is what we're talking about. Let's talk about Pluribus.
From the famous phrase, e pluribus unum, on the back of your quarter. If you don't have a quarter, well, welcome to America. Anyways, Pluribus is the Apple TV show created by Vince Gilligan.
And the 4th episode is coming out tonight. That doesn't date this podcast at all. Specifically to November 20th of 2025. I believe Pluribus ultimately is just about how AI is going to destroy everything. That's what I think. All these people coming under the control of one mind, that's an LLM, large language model, because everybody's going to be consulting these ChatGPTs, LLMs in the future, and they're just going to be giving uniform answers to everybody. That's Pluribus, except sort of taken to an extreme where it's now humans who are the large language model. The premise of this show is that all but 11 humans on Earth have been completely taken over by a single hive mind. Everybody has come under the control of this one single hive mind, and now while they have all the answers from all the human beings and the collective knowledge of every human on the planet, they are now forcing their will upon the 12 people who, for some reason, did not fall under the spell of this, plus the 866 million people who died. Every time Carol gets angry,
Directs any sort of like negative energy at a singular individual.
right, they all collectively start seizing, and then several of them can't handle that psychic power or whatever and die, which is to say, what's the message there? Your anger is your gift. Do not give it away. I'm just not even talking about, well, it's all up for interpretation. No, I'm telling you what the show is saying right now.
It's like War of the Worlds, you know? They beat them with a cold.
Or Signs, where they beat them with water.
Or Gremlins, where they beat them with guns and sticks or something.
They're a bunch of ants. They're all a bunch of ants. That's what we humans really are, is we're a bunch of ants. We like to think we're not, but we're really all just part of an anthill. And that's why I don't go outside. That's why I'm introverted. Because I refuse to acknowledge that I'm an ant in an anthill.
And you can carry 200 times your weight.
I can. And that's why I'm getting fatter and fatter, because the fatter I get, the more I can carry. That's how that works.
Mass equals force times acceleration.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I just didn't want to be a nerd about it, but you took the math right out of my mouth. That's my take on Pluribus. I'm sure as the show goes on, there will be more messages conveyed to us where I'll be like, oh, I guess that was what I thought was completely wrong. And I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to feel real stupid after having said everything I just said. But that's sort of like the basic gist of it to me. It's like, what is the individual? Are we all being sort of slowly destroyed by technology, by AI? Are humans being made obsolete by themselves?
I don't think we're going to make ourselves obsolete, because what we'll do is we'll just like create a whole new thing on the other side of it where we're necessary. AI can't vacation for us, you know.
But also, who's going to clean up like poop and stuff like that? Robots can do that, but we understand with like pieces of dried poop on a wall, for example, you got to spray it down and then you got to really push in and rub. I don't know if robots have the dexterity to really know how to clean up poop properly the way humans did. I used to work at Trader Joe's and I almost had to clean poop up off a wall once. I acted like, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I'm busy here right now, giving out free samples to people. So then someone who made more money than me did it. And I guess I wasn't being paid enough to do that shit. And he was. Oh, Trader Joe's. How I don't miss working there, even though everyone was very nice to me. It was interesting being at Trader Joe's because I was profoundly depressed when I worked there. So I always had a scowl on my face. But then people would talk to me and kind of snap out of it. People were like, oh, he's actually very nice. He's just sort of frowning all the time. That was how people saw me at first. Oh, he's a very chill, nice person. He's absolutely totally willing to help you out with anything. He's just got a scowl on his face. And that was because of the constant 80s music being played all the time.
Don't you want me, baby?
Yes, that was playing. They have a list of approved music, and that was absolutely on the list, along with a bunch of others bad 80s music.
That's a sex machine.
They did not have that, that's for sure. Nothing about sex, nothing about any of that stuff. Nothing interesting. What are your thoughts about Pluribus?
I don't know. I feel like you put it in good terms. I didn't really, I guess, think about the overall scenario. I just thought about like the little moments that happened, like when they filled up a whole grocery store for her. I'm like, oh, she's not going to be able to eat all that food before it goes bad.
Right. What happens is our main character, she comes home after this meeting. She goes to a grocery store and there's no food left there. It doesn't make sense for all the food to be left there. It makes sense for all the food to be gathered in one place, for it to be more efficiently harvested and used by all the human beings who have been controlled by this thing. But then she's pissed off, so she wants to have her choices back. So then a bunch of these collective humanoids, all under the spell of this one thing, they all come with trucks and put it all back in her grocery store so that she can then pick stuff out. And it's really interesting how it goes to show that, like, unless everyone's participating in this grocery store thing and everyone wants their own thing, it really doesn't make sense for it to all be there for just one person. So it sort of shows you the limits of individualism, where it's like, well, if only one person's being an individual, that's not efficient, because you
Well,
can't
that's the
just
outlier.
right. That's the outlier, and you can't just accommodate that one person. You have to have everyone agree to have their own tastes and preferences in order for any of this to make sense logistically. Otherwise, it should all just be like an anthill. She wants her individualism back, but what does her individualism even mean when there's no one else there to even acknowledge it for her?
I pointed this out. Vince Gilligan is so good about just action, things happening, but no one has to talk. Things just occur. I mean, the second episode, the first 14 minutes has no words at all. It's just this whole beautiful sequence that just like, you don't know what's going on, what it's going to lead to, but you feel it. And I love that.
Vince Gilligan, he's a brilliant writer, and he keeps things moving. He is very dynamic. He knows what is boring.
Go watch it. They're not paying us. You know who's paying us? Nobody.
Nobody.
You know, we're paying for everything. Expensive as hell, but we'll still stoop for Apple TV's Pluribus, because, you know, you got to get that PluriBUSSY.
PluriBUSSY. That's what that one guy from Mauritius is getting, or Mauritania. He's getting that PluriBUSSY, that's for sure. I mean, he can have any of those people just all lined up in a row and be like, all right, next.
Squirk, 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 squirk.
I mean, it reminds me of Westworld in the sense that when you're among the robots, you go to the robot brothel and they'll just do whatever. If that was me, I'd be like, look, the brothel's here in town at the beginning of the game of Westworld. There is no reason for me to go anywhere else in Westworld. Like, the brothel should be at the end of the game. That should be the thing that you have to get to. You have to get through all this sand and the Native Americans and the Confederates and stuff like that. And the Civil War. It kind of is.
It was a world.
It was a world, but it's like, it's different scenarios that you experience. But like, the brothel should be at the end. That should be your reward, so as to incentivize you to experience Westworld. Because for me, if I just went to Westworld and the brothel was right there, I'm like, I guess I'm just staying here for the rest of my life and having sex with these humanoid robots who can't get pregnant.
I wonder if the whiskey would be good, you know? I feel like it'd just be like straight hooch, and I'd be like blind by the end of my session.
So what? So what if you're getting free robo-bussy?
It's not free. You have to pay so much money. You have to be super rich to go to Westworld.
Yeah, but this is all predicated on the idea that I am rich enough to go to Westworld. So who cares what the hooch tastes like? I care what the cooch tastes like.
There it is.
Robo-cooch.
Westworld Bussy.
That's disgusting.
That's
That's where my mind is going.
I want to say this is unusable.
The entire discussion of Pluribus may have been completely unusable. It may have been.
Look, it's an off day. We've had an off week. Get your unusable Bussy out here.
Your Pluribussy. Oh man, there's so many places we could go with that. Next time on This Is Unusable, we'll riff further on Pluribussy.
E pluribus cunum punum. Damn.